warm welcome. You're watching this special broadcast and I'm Poonam Burde. Let's start with what's happening in Ukraine. The counteroffensive to reclaim Russian-occupied territories could be very near as far as Ukraine goes. Kyiv has now received its first Patriot air defense system. It's seen as one of the most advanced US air defense systems in the world. The information was shared by Kyiv's defense minister on Twitter, where he said that the United States, Germany and the Netherlands had kept their word. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the system will significantly strengthen Ukraine's defense against Russian strikes. Now, this announcement or the arrival of the Patriot systems came after Russia launched a fresh wave of drone attacks on the southern port of Odessa. A Patriot battery is capable of shooting down attack planes. It can cruise in ballistic missiles even before they strike a target. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Russian forces will destroy the missile. Now, around 100 Ukrainian troops have been training on this missile system in the United States since Patriots need extensive training. Remember, Germany had announced earlier this year that they will be sending the most advanced defense batteries to Ukraine to aid the fight against Russia. Netherlands, following suit, had also said that they will be supplying parts of a Patriot air defense system to Ukraine. So what exactly is this particular missile system? Let's get you a look into what exactly its capabilities are. This definitely is going to give a push to Ukraine's defense capabilities. Now, the Patriot is US's most advanced air systems as far as the US military goes. The missile to assist Ukraine in enhancing its air defense capabilities. Saving lives by intercepting incoming missiles is also something that this Patriot system is equipped with. Ukraine's ability to protect its airspace will definitely go up by this. The missile is going to be boosting Ukraine's counteroffensive against Russia, one that has been on for over a year now. So what exactly can this Patriot missile system do? Let's break it down for you. It's a surface-to-air guided missile system. It can target aircraft, it can target cruise missiles and as well ballistic missiles. Each battery has 8 launchers to hold ground radar, generator, 4 missile interceptors, each and a control station proven as widely operated and reliable air defense systems. So that's the shot in the arm as far as Ukraine's fight against Russia is concerned. What exactly does this mean? Where do we go forward from here? To decode that, joining me on this broadcast is Ruslan Botnik, who is the director of the Ukrainian Institute of Politics. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on News 18. I want to ask you, over a year is what we've seen this offensive go on for. Ukraine has managed to keep Russia at bay in most of its areas. But are we looking at a counter-offensive, a counter-onslaught, so to say, to push Russia out completely?
Hello, colleagues. It's a very good question. Of course, Ukraine is going to make a huge, the final counteroffensive operation and withdraw Russian troops from all the occupied territories of Ukraine. Maybe except of Crimea, because it's very difficult to liberate the Crimea without fleet and without as modern aircrafts. We don't have such. But for nowadays, the main goal of Ukrainian counteroffensive operation is to free Ukrainian areas in the south and the east of Ukraine, of course. And this supply of Patriot is very important from the 2 reasons. The first reason, that Ukraine has almost run out of old Soviet anti-aircraft missiles, and there is nowhere else to get them. These supplies is almost finished around the world, and new supplies, Soviet supplies, post-Soviet supplies, are produced only by Russia. Therefore, the situation with the artillery and tanks, it's repeated, but only on anti-aircraft systems. And as Soviet stockpiles run out, Ukraine seeks to switch to Western weapons system on general ways path. So we are developing our troops. And the second reason is, of course, is counteroffensive operation, because we need to cover our ground troops in this counteroffensive operation, and we need a good anti-aircraft system, because Russia is still very strong with aircrafts, and Russia started to use the flying bombs in Ukraine last month, and we don't have any weapon to defend from these flying bombs, and we very need these Patriots. But Patriot, of course, is very good system, very modern system, but we need them much more. One or two or even five. This system will not give the big impact of this war. We need
Yes.
40, 50 this system to cover this situation.
Yes, so perhaps this is the beginning of just that. The world hasn't disappointed you, is what Volodymyr Zelensky also came out and said. And I request you to indulge me for a few more minutes, because I want to get our viewers a sense of what exactly happening on the Russian side as well. And the Russian president has now come out and in fact threatened to arm North Korea if South Korea sends arms to Ukraine. There is a warning, a clear one at that, coming to the fore as far as the Korean peninsula and the violence that could ensue there is concerned. Take a look at what exactly it is that Vladimir Putin had to say.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin warned South Korea on providing military aid to Ukraine in its war with Russia. In a recent interview, South Korea's President Yoon Suk Yeol said that if there is a situation that the international community cannot condone, such as any large-scale attack on civilians, massacre, or a serious violation of the laws of war, it may be difficult for us to insist only on humanitarian or financial support. This marked that Korea is willing to break the existing policy against providing lethal aid to countries at war. In a response to Yoon's interview, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov warned Seoul about the dangers that come with arming Ukraine. He said that if Korea supplied military aid to Ukraine, it would mean Seoul is becoming involved in the Ukrainian conflict. Peskov further said that to our regret, Seoul has taken a rather unfriendly position in this whole saga. This is an extension of that. Of course, they will try to draw more and more countries directly into this conflict. Russia's warning can clearly be seen as a means to stop South Korea from sending weapons to Ukraine. Moscow used arming North Korea as a weapon to stop South Korea from meddling in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The new stance taken by Seoul can also hamper inter-Korean relationship. Remember, North Korea is an ally of Russia, backed Moscow during the war. The White House has been stating that it has evidence that Putin's government is in search of weapons to support its war with Ukraine. What lies ahead in the war zone is yet to be seen.
Ruslan, now we've seen how the world has stood with Ukraine, and Russia has left with very little allies, which perhaps is why we're seeing these kind of threats coming to the fore from Vladimir Putin. But how do you read this? Threatening South Korea that we could arm North Korea with arms and foment trouble in that part of the world as well. A threat coming in from Vladimir Putin is absolutely mincing no words.
Oh, it's very dangerous situation, because from one side, from our side, of course, South Korea has a huge stocks of weapon, very necessary weapon for Ukraine. But at the same time, we understand that South Korea is trying to obtain nuclear weapon from United States to take the nuclear umbrella for their country. And there is a big danger that more countries will be involved in this Ukrainian-Russian war, and this war should be transformed into the world war if the conflict between South Korea and North Korea will be blamed. Because Russia is endangering that they are ready to supply for North Korea much modern weapon than they have. It's very dangerous situation. We need these supplies, but at the same time we understand these supplies from South Korea should make this conflict much wider than it is now.
Yes, so what next for the world? What next for Ukraine and Russia? We'll have to wait and watch. But Ruslan Botnik, thank you so much for speaking with us here with your perspective.